Palma. Oh, that's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game. Janelle Fuentes. Delgado makes the shot and knocks it down. Malonia is open. 3-point. Oh my goodness!
Face a jumper by Robin Senes.
Napoliano has time.
Now it gets Martin Rozo. Turnaround jumper. Oh my goodness.
408 kilometers away from Manila, nagbabalik ang MPBL dito sa bahay ng Abra Weavers sa napakagandang bayan ng Benguet. Sinalubong tayo ng magagandang tanawin, mababait na Abreños at masasarap na pagkain. Ngayong gabi, we give back to the Abreños with another heart-stopping basketball action. Their first home game this season. South Division's number 2 Quezon Huskers versus the home team, North's number 2, the Abra Weavers. Welcome to Benguet Abra. Ito ang Season 7 ng Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
Alright, this stage is set for our main attraction tonight as two powerhouse teams in the South and North collide today. Of course, Congressman JB Bernos and Ma'am Ching Bernos in attendance dito po sa Abra, and they will try to fend off Judel Fuentes and the rest of the reigning South Division champions, the Quezon Huskers. But Abra hell-bent on defending their turf. The showdown between Quezon and Abra dito sa Liga ng bawat Pilipino. This is the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Magandang gabi, mga kaliga. Ken Pangilinan with Coach Mike Perez, and at courtside we have Miss Sydney Crespo. Coach, this place practically a full house. Abra trying to defend their home court for the very first time, but kaharap nila itong Quezon Huskers. How do you see this matchup playing out?
This is going to be a really good match between these two teams. The number 1 defensive team going up against the second best scoring team in Abra. What gives? Malalaman natin in this basketball game.
And of course, you're watching us live on our official Facebook page and YouTube channel. And we're also live currently on Solar Sports. And Coach, silipin natin ng mabilis lang, no, itong team standings natin. Implications from the wins earlier of Nueva Ecija. They still remain on top, 13 wins, still unblemished, but Abra lurking behind, just 1.5 game back kontra dito sa ating Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Well, in the South Division, number 2 rin naman ang Quezon Huskers, just 2 games behind of the currently number 1 team in Zamboanga. And Coach Mike, these two teams, a lot of weapons at their disposal. Unahin na natin itong Quezon Huskers, and in their last game, they made a statement at home in Lucena City. They went up against the Isabela Cowboys and practically really just dominate this from the get-go.
It was a test of character actually para sa Quezon. Iligan started with a lot of force and energy, but Quezon kept their poise. Judel Fuentes was magnificent through mid of the second quarter, 17 points, but unfortunately got tossed. And the game was really about not just the poise of Quezon, but even the really good shooting at 47%. They made 11 three-pointers in that match, enough to get 36%. They were a plus 12 on rebounds. And what's even more impressive was the points in the paints, where they were plus 10 points on a 56% shooting clip. And you know that Quezon, when it gets to the paint, they're going to try their best to score real good.
And it's a great thing that Judel Fuentes available tonight for the Quezon Huskers. They will take on the pretty determined Abra Weavers. They are now at home, but their last game against Parañaque, medyo nahirapan sila dito, Coach Mike, despite Parañaque, their struggles currently in the South Division. But Abra just went really strong. Dave Ildefonso establishing his new career high of 31 points, although Parañaque was able to make a game out of it until the third quarter, pero lumayo na yung Abra in the fourth.
Ang ganda ng simula ng Abra actually. 32 points led by Dave, Mark, Yusef, and including Encho. But Abra responded, took the half, and then eventually took the game, and they never looked back. Dave Ildefonso had 31 points on a 6 of 13 3-point shooting, and Yusef Taha had 13 as well, including Encho Serrano had 13. But really the efficient shooting as well, the rebounds totally controlled. They were a plus 32 in that department, getting 6 more points and getting 13 more second chance opportunities against the Parañaque Patriots for that win by the Abra Weavers.
And Coach Mike, Dave Ildefonso, we've been mentioning him that he was able to establish a career high of 28 points, but 4 days later, eclipsing that here against Parañaque, he continues to really impress para dito sa Abra.
What really changed, in my opinion, on the last 2 games para dito kay Dave Ildefonso is the 3-point shooting. That 6 of 13 3-point makes for him really shows a lot the versatility of the different ways as the season goes for Dave Ildefonso to hurt you on the offensive side of the floor.
And now we'll focus on different players from each squad for our player matchup. The heart and soul probably for Quezon and LJ Gonzalez, and on the other side, Encho Serrano has been really playing a good job playing second fiddle para dito sa Abra.
Oh, both these players actually averaged roughly about 17 minutes per game, but you see the numbers, for the most part, it's really swung on the favor scoring-wise para dito sa kay Encho Serrano, but the percentage is so much better for LJ only because LJ right now is trying to establish himself again after lackluster performances in some games. Samantalang itong si Encho really just been very consistent, especially if he gets more than 13 minutes of action on the floor.
And those two guys, kasama ngayon ng ating courtside reporter, si Miss Sydney Crespo.
Yes, Ken, Coach Mike, LJ, Encho, thank you so much for your time. LJ, last season, bumisita kayo dito sa Abra, natalo kayo ng Mindoro. Ngayon, kaharap nyo na ang home team. Paano naging preparations nyo dito?
Unang-una, nagpapasalamat kami kay Lord na nakarating kami ng safe dito. And nakabalik kami ulit dito sa Abra. Last year, siguro naging lesson sa amin yung game namin against Mindoro. So, kailangan lang talaga namin dumipensa. Yun lang yung baon namin ngayon, dumipensa kami hanggang dulo. Kung sino yung matibay, yun yung mananalo sa dulo.
Appreciate your time, LJ. Ngayon, Encho, nagbabalik kayo dito sa inyong home crowd, no? Kanina pang puno itong ating venue. Marami ng Abreños ang nag-aabang sa inyo mula pa nung Game 1. Gaano ka-excited sa pagbabalik nyo dito?
Sobrang excited po kami. Pinagandaan talaga po namin tong game na to kasi gusto namin ibigay sa mga Abreños tong panalong to. And yun lang, ibibigay namin yung best namin. Lahat ng tinuro ng mga coaches sa amin, gagawin namin. And sa lahat ng Abreños na sumusuporta sa amin, maraming salamat po. And sa boss po namin, kay Kong Ching, kay Kong Mayor, JB Bernos, maraming salamat po sa walang sawang suporta po sa amin. Ibibigay po namin yung best namin and sana makuha po natin itong panalong to.
We are very excited to witness the showdown of these two talented guards. Kaya mga kaliga, simulan na natin ang ating main game. Let's turn you over to Richard Tampos.
Naragsak na malimtay amin, Abreños! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the main game of the evening. Quezon Huskers versus your Abra Solid North Weavers at the Governor Andres P. Pernos Memorial Gym, live on Solar Sports, Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Join me in welcoming the starting lineups. Let's begin with the Quezon Huskers. Forward number 8, Christian Pagaran. Playing center number 19, JP Sarao. Point guard number 6, Checo Dario. Forward number 5, Simon Santagon. And at 2 guard number 2, Judel Fuentes. The head coach is Eric Gonzalez. Assistant coaches, Richie Dixon, Ed De La Torre, Luis Nolasco, Jordan De Guzman, Nash Racela, Bernard Diguia, and Jeric Teng. Team manager, attorney Don Capunan. Team owners, Governor Dr. Helen Tan, Congressman Mike Tan, and Mayor Ralph Lim. And now, get ready to cheer Abreños for your Abra Solid North Weavers! Power forward number 30, Ryan Patino. Playing center number 9, Raven Gonzalez. Shooting guard number 5, Joshua David. Point guard number 4, Marwin Taiwan. And at forward number 1, the Sheriff, Dave Ildefonso. The head coach is Yon Garcia. Assisted by Denok Miranda, Don Uro, and Edsel Balenya. The team owners, Bukay Mayor Jaja Bernos and Kong Mayor JB Bernos.
All right, let's check out the starting five brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. For Quezon, the backcourt of Diego Dario, Judel Fuentes. Up front, JP Sarao, Christian Pagaran, and Simon Sandagon. For the home team, Abra Weavers, Marwin Taiwan, Joshua David, Raven Gonzalez, Ryan Matino, and making his 13th consecutive start, Dave Ildefonso. Should be a fun one. Dave Ildefonso has mentioned time and time again how excited he was to get here at home, have an opportunity to play in front of the thousands of fans here inside the Governor Andres Bernos Gymnasium in Bangued, Abra, Coach Mike.
Ang feeling ko, hindi lang si Dave ang excited na makalaro dito finally sa Abra. Excited rin yung mga fans ng Abra na finally makita nila si Dave Ildefonso live here on their home floor.
First possession goes to the Weavers. Quezon, we've mentioned how they are number 1 in terms of giving up the least number of points. Arguably the best defensive team in the league. And ball will stay with Abra after that miss by Marwin Taiwan.
Well, right off the bat, you see the size difference advantage para dito sa Abra Weavers. Sarao against Batino, Raven against the Simon Sandagon, and Dave Ildefonso. I mean, it's gonna be taking a lot of team effort defensively para dito sa Quezon Huskers. But the Abra Weavers are gonna have to figure out how to solve this defensive stand by the Huskers.
But that was good one-on-one defense that time around by Christian Pagaran on Dave Ildefonso. Diego Dario, Ildefonso switching on to him. 5 seconds on their shot clock. Dario attacks, fades away, can't get it off the glass. Ildefonso with a rebound.
Well, Dario trying to take advantage of foot speed, pero Dave Ildefonso able to keep pace. And ito na nga yung labanan sa loob ng paint. And Abra really prides themselves when it comes to points in the paint, because they're one of the top teams that score from there, and that is a huge difference between Quezon and itong Abra. It's almost a 10-point difference in terms of averages points from the paint in favor of the Weavers.
Actually, number 4 itong Abra in that department. 43.7 points in the paint.
Wow, look at him staying attached to Judel Fuentes. And yan yung gusto mo kay Joshua David. Depensa, ibibigyan ka niyan kung kinakailangan. Pero kung kailangan mong points, bibigyan ka rin.
Yeah. Both teams can't buy a bucket to begin this match. A minute and a half gone by. Gonzalez. Now it's Batino on that short roll. And a rebound ends up with Judel Fuentes.
And so when you have one of the best scoring teams going up against a defensive team, this is what happens. You know, tingnan natin kung sinong unang mag-give in sa advantage. Will it be the defensive team or will it be the strength of your number 2 scoring team so far this season?
Joshua David on the left side. Pulls up. Baseline jumper won't work. Rebound ends up with Diego Dario. Dario onto the front court. That's Marwin Taiwan. 3-point shot by Pagaran is good. Great way to start off this game para dito sa Quezon.
And si Pagaran, you know, very rarely shoots threes, pero right there, he just kept on holding that corner 3, waited for that time for that pass, and took it.
And he's been doing a great job, at least containing Dave Ildefonso at the moment. Now Dave, great secondary help by Sandagon, almost a turnover. David, swing pass to Marwin Taiwan, has Sarao on him. Marwin Taiwan for free, off to the right. And you like how Quezon is defending so far, at least in almost 3 minutes of game action here, Coach Mike.
Yeah, and you have to admire the way they stopped David Defonso. He was right there underneath. And we talked about painting the points being a key strength. And you have your number one scoring guy in Abra in there. But the Quezon Huskers were able to stop that.
Fuentes, laban kay Joshua David. Gonzalez hauls in that rebound. Abras yet to score. David on the right side. Takes that free. Wala pa din. Tapikan ng bola. Gonzalez lost it, but it was because a foul was committed by Quezon. Remember, Abra last season went undefeated in their homestand. 3 wins without a loss. Defeated Iloilo, Rizal, and Valenzuela.
I say if you're Quezon and Abra takes a shot, you have to locate immediately Raven Gonzalez. I mean, he's the number one offensive rebounding guy for that team, roughly averaging about 3. And you got to be mindful where he is.
Batino inside, nahuling tumulak. Yung gusto mo scramble nung depensa dito ng Quezon so far. Because they've been committed to whether they get beat off the dribble or off the rebound. Talagang hinahabol nila whichever point of attack meron so far itong Abra.
And it takes a lot of commitment to be playing defense. If you go back to the previous game where in Batangas really played good defense in the first quarter, you know, forcing Nueva Ecija to just below 30% shooting at lower volumes. But then again, the flow of the game started kicking in favor of the Rice Vanguards. Now, if you're the Quezon Huskers, understand you got to sustain that defensive effort.
Sarao is free, but can't hit it. Quezon just playing with a lot more effort and energy, at least to begin this ball game. Diego Dario tries to turn the corner, bounce pass a bit off target, turnover against the Huskers. Something that they need to be wary of, Coach Mike.
Yeah, didn't have the right angle for Diego Dario on that pass on that weak side baseline for Simon Sandagon. And it's tough for him to catch that on that side of the floor.
More than 4 minutes in. Abra still without a bucket. One-on-one, Batino. JP Sarao standing his ground.
How about Raven Gonzalez getting a tip again on that offensive rebound?
Sandagon shut down by Ryan Batino. Ball will stay with the Quezon Huskers.
I'm sure Coach Yong would not be fine with them missing early shots here, but he sure is going to be fine with them stopping scoring naman sa side ng Huskers. They're 0 out of 7 from the field right now, but in so far as scoring, it's 1 out of 6 for the Quezon. So very low scoring percentages here to start the game between these two.
And with this trend currently, Coach Mike, which do you think it favors between these two squads?
Well, very early on, it seems to favor more itong Quezon Huskers. Not that they have the lead, but you know, really just them stopping the second best offensive team in the season so far, which happens to be the Abra Weavers.
Fuentes, no. Gonzalez, kakapasok lang, grabs the offensive rebound. Stop and pop jumper is good. And what about this start by the team on the road, the Quezon Huskers?
Yeah. Points in the paints and fast break points, that's been the difference between these two. But so far, no scores on those two stat lines para dito sa Abra Weavers because they've been able to get stops from the Weavers, from the Huskers.
5-0 for the Huskers as Abra takes this time out. Look at the numbers, Coach Mike, between these two squads. Like you've mentioned, Quezon, arguably the number 1 team defensively. Abra solid on both ends.
Yeah, agree. And yung points allowed na yan is really been, I guess, the identity of Quezon Huskers this season. Samantalang yung rebounding, nakita mo naman, number 1 dyan, itong Abra Weavers, all because they have really good big men that can actually locate, shots that's missed. And you talk about John Oduba, Marquis, and the leader in rebounds, Raven Gonzalez. Those 3 guys, including Batino, have made it tough to just, snatch rebounds from the Weavers.
Joshua Hierro is in. He's also tasked to contain Dave Ildefonso. Ryan Batino able to escape, but did not finish. Gonzalez sets it up for Quezon. Sandagon.
Oh, backdoor.
Field goal shooting, 0 of 10 so far ang Abra, 2 of 8 naman for a 25% clip ang Quezon. Masyadong malakas yung tres na pinakawalan ni LJ Gonzalez. Bola mananatili sa panig ng Quezon with 6 on their shot clock.
And yung buong Abra Weavers team have been standing for the last almost 6 minutes already here because they haven't scored yet.
Oh, Gonzalez able to escape. Taiwan late on a closeout.
Nakita mo kung paano ginawa ng Quezon to open up that side of the floor for that final cutter to come in, which happens to be LJ Gonzalez. Now, when you talk about LJ, nag-i-start pa lang siya makakuha ng rhythm ulit, makabalik no? And so, that's the hope if you're the Quezon Huskers. And LJ, in that Ilagan game, I think he only had 4 points in roughly under 15 minutes action pa yata siya in that match. And so this would be a good game for LJ Gonzalez to feel that, I'm right back into it and get a good rhythm heading into the next games.
That's gonna be interesting now that Encho Serrano is in. He's together with Dave Ildefonso. Abra still no points. And Encho immediately going to work, getting the basket plus a foul.
Encho Serrano is automatic when you talk about perimeter shooting. Right there, spin that side of the floor, his favorite move on that right side, and that push shot going glass. And pretty much the defense, either the primary defender or the help defender came in late, and Encho was just too crafty to finish through contact.
Encho Serrano, chance for a 3-point play opportunity. Kong Mayer, JB Bernos, and Kong Ching Bernos. Serrano finally gets them on the board. 7-3 Quezon.
And you just love how these fans have reacted to those points by Encho.
Under 4 minutes remaining. LJ finds his spot, but can't get that one to fall. Serrano, siya na rin nagbaba after the rebound, but runs into traffic. Judel Fuentes, nakabuelo. Judel all the way for 2 points.
Well, the Huskers initially had numbers, but the Weavers tried to catch up. But Judel launched already.
Oh! Ildefonso, semi-transition, finally buries a free. That's gonna be feel good.
We talked about the 3-point shooting of Dave Ildefonso. In the past 2 games on 3-pointers, he's averaged 5.5 3-point makes on 11 attempts. That tells you that in their Tubos Slashers games, he made 5 3-pointers, and in that Parañaque Patriots game, he made 6. And so no wonder he took that shot and made it.
Fast break the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop Personal Karaoke Speaker. Everyday Karaoke.
Yan yung depensa medyo na late dun sa recovery, and Batino on a foot speed against Judel Fuentes going downhill. He's gonna be late. And right now, Coach Eric sues for time after that huge response by the Weavers here in the first.
They've cut the lead down to 3, 9-6.
Welcome back to the MPBL. Quezon's last game against the Ilagan Isabela Cowboys was a test of their emotional control, showing how mature and focused they could be in the heat of the moment. Sabi nga ni Coach Eric Gonzalez, lesson learned na, control your emotions, importante rin daw yan tonight. Hindi na niya kailangan kausapin si Judel, alam na daw yan ng kanyang talented guard. But tonight is another challenge, a true test as they call it. Kahit strength na ng Quezon ang depensa, mas rason nga daw yan para mas lalo pa nilang i-polish at ihanda dito sa Abra, sabi ni Coach Eric. And as one of the leaders, Gabanal says, whatever happened last season is already in the past. He asked his teammates to stay present because it's either they win or they learn. Ken, Coach Mike?
Maraming salamat, Sid. And so far, Quezon has done a masterful job of keeping Abra at bay at the moment. And LJ Gonzalez putting on a gas pedal, scoring on that left-handed layup.
Well, LJ is starting early here in the first quarter, trying to make up for lost time as that miss by Cruz Dumont. Again, on the leak out.
Ildefonso the steal. Chance in transition. Ildefonso! Recipient of that great bounce pass from Encho Serrano.
That's your second best fast breaking team this season. The Abra Weavers averaging 21.6 fast break points per game, and they do it primarily on the defense side of the floor. You commit a mistake, they will make you pay.
Gabaini posting up on Yusuf Taha, caught
Offensive
warding
foul.
off, yeah. Kasi sabi ni Gabaini, ginaid lang daw niya yung left hand niya. But not much complaints from Coach Eric Gonzalez.
You see this post up right here. Beautiful matchup between these two. Well, he might have a case, no? But referee sees otherwise, and they're not going to challenge very early in this game, so they got to let it go.
Serrano, Ildefonso, only guys that have scored so far for Abra. Serrano tries a three, no good. Altamsi with a rebound. 2 minutes remaining here in the first period. LJ navigating through traffic. Vince Magbuhos. That three pops out. Abra. Chance here to tie or cut this lead down to 1. Mark Yee open for free. Off the mark. The save by Altamsi. Ball ends up with Wawa Iero. Iero stopping his tracks. Altamsi, no hesitation. But can't convert on that three. So right now, Abra playing without a natural point guard. Ildefonso asking for a clear out. Day puts it up from three. It's good!
Yeah, Dave Ildefonso, that's three-pointer number 2. I am telling you guys, you got to put on notice that Dave Ildefonso has already improved on his three-point shooting, and the more he makes those shots, the more confident he's going to be from that area.
Ties it up at 11 apiece. Altamsi. Shut down by Cruz Dumont. Now he relocates. The pass inside and a shot clock violation. Much to the delight of the Abrareños.
Talk about shutting down Quezon, but this one right here, the straight on three, defense goes under, big mistake. That's Dave Ildefonso, top of the key three.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
Alam mo mas impressive doon, before those basket makes by Encho Serrano and Dave Ildefonso, they were 0 out of 10. And right now, they're 5 of 7 from makes.
Ildefonso off to the left. Quezon keeping them at bay at the moment. Dangerous pass, Altamsi.
Good recovery by Dave.
Gonzalez retrieves a basketball guarded by Encho Serrano. About a 6-second differential between shot and game clock. Gonzalez, top of the key.
Taking too long.
4 seconds left. LJ. And another turnover forced by the stingy defense of Abra.
And they're taking LJ that side of the floor solo. No help, you know. Anyone who switches on LJ, solo coverage lang tayo. Wala mo nang switch, wala mo nang help. Tingnan natin kung how LJ will respond. And pangalawang diretsong defensive stop na yan na pinahirapan itong Abra Weavers, itong Quezon Huskers.
Already the 6th turnover of the the Quezon Huskers. Serrano to beat the buzzer, in and out. This place would have been exploded.
Wow.
would have exploded with that basket, but instead, we end the first quarter tied at 11. And what about Abra, after falling down 5-0, able to come back in the second part of this quarter, thanks to guys like Encho Serrano and David Defonso.
And they just have the firepower, those top two guys in Encho and David Defonso, but really the defense initially of the Quezon Huskers forcing the Abra Weavers in very uncomfortable situations. But then again, you saw LJ put guys on the dance against that layup shot, but Weavers recovered well, especially with the lead of Dave Ildefonso's made couple of threes.
Dave Ildefonso with 8 points. Tabla tayo 11 all sa pagpasok ng second quarter. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan a QR code and claim your special offer. It's been a game of runs. Although for Abra, they're enjoying this first homestand by their home team, the Abra Weavers. And they will have another game here, I think 2 weeks later. Kalaban naman nila Pangasinan. But right now, the task at hand, the reigning South Division champions, the Quezon Huskers, see the field goal shooting. Both teams not really shooting well from the field, Coach Mike.
Well, actually, if you take the entire shot, missed 10 missed shots para dito sa Abra Weavers, you would say it's not a good shooting game. Pero laki ng binawi nila latter part of the first quarter.
7 na agad ang turnovers dito ng Quezon. For the lead, David Defonso has begun to heat up for the Abra Solid North Weavers.
Wow, what a shooting display by Dave Ildefonso. 3 out of 3 from that side of the floor.
And time again, he has lamented how he himself knows he has struggled from beyond the arc. And Mark Yee joining the party. And Abra now with a 6-point lead.
I'll tell you what these 3-pointers will do to the Quezon Huskers. This will generate a lot of closeouts. 1 of 8 from 3. 1 of 6 from 3 ang Quezon, samantalang 3 of 7 naman itong Quezon Huskers. All those 3 coming from Dave, but it's already 4 of 8 because of Markey knocking down 1 down earlier.
Serrano 1-on-1 against Vince Magbuhos.
Good help.
Encho fades away. Cuffs it up. Lagrama gets it for the Huskers. That's a kickball violation called on the Abra Weavers. Almost say with Quezon, Coach Yong Garcia.
And you see Coach Deno talking to the officials. No, hindi intentional. Tumama lang because of that pass. But referee says, no, we're going to stick with the call. And that's going to be a kick and ball will be remaining to the Huskers.
RJ Minerva getting in for Quezon. Kopeng Lagrama. Now it's JP Sarao. Lost it. Tried to save it but to the wrong guy. Tatakbo na naman dito ang Abra. Encho Serrano gets clipped in the arm on his way up by Gab Banal. Encho is down.
It didn't look like Gab Banal had ill intentions in that stop. It sure looked like he was trying to get the stop, play on the ball.
Yeah.
But ang taas ng taga kasi nung take-off ni Encho. And this is the challenge now defensively para dito sa Quezon Huskers. You have to understand that this is the number 2 fast-breaking team, and so you cannot afford to turn the ball over because once you do, expect the ball's going to be in the middle and they've got lane runners and rim runners occupying the spots. In that instance, which happens to be Encho Serrano going for that finish after that turnover.
Quezon is 4th worst in terms of giving up the rock. LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. 15.8 turnovers per contest for Quezon, and they already have 8, and we're just almost 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter.
At saka aside dan sa stat line na minention mo, Ken, lagi sinasabi ng mga early games nitong Abra Weavers, if you wanna beat the Abra Weavers, your only chance is to force them to make 3-point attempts. No surprises there. They're number 18 when it comes to 3-point attempts, only 25. Pero yung makes lately nitong Abra Weavers, just magnificent from there.
Abra in the midst of a 13-0 run. Before that basket by RJ Minerva, the Quezon Huskers have been scoreless for 5 minutes before that basket. And now they get a stop. Lagrama pushing the pace. Stopping. Will pull it back out.
Surprised didn't take it. Nice pass.
JP Sarao able to get it off the glass.
Well, I thought Topeng Lagrama already had a layup that side of the floor, but he said, wait, I'm gonna try and figure out, see the floor, scope it, till he found JP Sarao on the other end of the paint.
19-15, Abra with a 4-point lead.
Solo side.
David Defonso, long 3-point shot. His first miss.
Man.
Ooh, bad pass. Serrano, skying high and flying over JP Sarao for the basket.
3 times, Encho Serrano has flown over a defender, and twice he scored. And you know, this is a different version of Encho Serrano, especially playing here at home for the Weavers.
And ever since he came into the floor, Coach Mike, he really made quite an impact, not only in scoring, but that energy that he brought. And he was really locked in, especially on the defensive end. Here he is, going up against Christian Pagaran. Encho Serrano thought about that three. Gives it up to Marwin Taiwan. Taiwan just inside the arc. Can't get it to go. Rebound controlled by RJ Minerva. Approaching 6 minutes here in quarter number 2. Minerva laban kay John Oduba. Gives it up to Lagrama. Laban kay Marwin Taiwan. Topeng. Turnover again.
But you love the on-ball defense on Topeng Lagrama, but you also love the help by Yusef Taha.
This was the steal, and Encho using his athleticism, and JP Sarao pretty much helpless. Also had that brief stare down after the basket. Serrano off the bench, 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Sabi ni Encho, I'll see you on the top floor.
Oh.
That's pretty much been that battle on that layup attempt by Encho.
10 turnovers agad para sa Quezon. CJ Austria.
That's one other guy that the Weavers sure would love to start, you know, showing a lot of numbers.
Yusuf Taha spins away from the basket. Diego Dario nagbabalik para sa Quezon. Ooh, turnover number 11 for the Quezon Huskers. Now, check out this assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Ganda ng pagkaka-dive na yan ni Minerva.
David laban kay Fuentes. Joshua David. To his teammate in college, CJ Austria, who can't hit the three. Another offensive rebound by Abra. Taha at the corner. CJ. And great job attacking the basket by former De La Salle Green Archer, CJ Austria.
That was eventually going to be a tough finish for CJ David because, you know, that post was pretty much occupied. And he has to have that space for him to be able to create and finish with that layup.
CJ Austria, 3-time UAP champion. Oh, missing on the first free throw. Came into this game only shooting 58.8% from the line. CJ Austria.
60% free throw shooter in CJ.
That can score points in bunches. Oh, but missing both.
Very rarely do you see that from CJ. he normally makes at least one of the 2 shots.
Just past the halfway point of the second period. Fuentes.
Wow.
Able to navigate through that Cabaini pick and fades away for that mid-range jumper.
See that snake dribble? That was a tough one for Judel Fuentes. I mean, for you to be a 3-point shooter and to have that in your bag speaks a lot of your skill set in Judel Fuentes.
He has really improved and mastered that pick and roll game.
Oh.
How about John Oduba? Surprising the Quezon Huskers with that free.
Now I'm not surprised because I saw snippets of that from last season with Parañaque, where not only in the playoffs, I saw him sink a couple, but he does have that range, but rarely does he use it.
Fuentes again, almost lost it. In fact, he does, and gives up a foul. Those were 2 former teammates going at it, Judel Fuentes and Marwin Taiwan.
Nice. The question here is, will that be an unspo, because that's almost clear path.
Nawala sa kanya yung bola. Taiwan able to snatch that.
Yeah. That was a foot race for that 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an unspo.
A sportsmanlike foul, number
That's
2,
tough.
Judel Fuentes. For unnecessary
2 free throws, plus ball possession.
And the distinguished gentleman, Mr. Seb Pingol, making that call, confirming that it is not sportsmanlike.
Distinguished gentleman talaga,
Oo.
Mr. Pingol.
Mr. Pingol, veterano yan.
How about this guy? Marwin Taiwan. Played 3 seasons with San Juan. Played as a backup to Orlan Wamar. Now, he gets a chance with Abra and has really solidified as the lead point guard now for the Weavers.
Yeah, and he stepped up to that plate. You have to understand, he's the second most used Weaver behind David Defonso, roughly about 20 minutes per game. He leads in assists with 4.9 per game. And the most ever assist that he's made was against the Bataan Risers, where he made 13 assists in 21 minutes of action. And so, talk about stepping up and meeting the challenge of being the lead point guard para dito sa Weavers.
Oh, Oduba cutting back door and getting the layup to go. This is now an 11-point lead established by the Abra Solid North Weavers.
One of the questions I wanted to ask after that first quarter and mid of the second quarter was that, fine, you've seen David Defonso and Encho Serrano go to work, but will be the third guy, but Judel knocks down that 3, and I guess the answer to that question was answered by John Oduba. He's got 5 in the game as Judel knocked down that 3 at 2.
Yusuf Taas, short roll. Oduba again, backdoor cut. 2 more points for John Oduba, who now has 7.
Now, there are questions that the Huskers would need to figure out. Those are 3 different guys leading the scoring para dito sa Weavers right now. A wingman, a shooting guard, and a big man in John Oduba.
Pinwersa doon ni Joseph Cabaini.
And
kissing it off the glass and in.
kanina pa rin nila gustong i-challenge yung interior defense nitong ni Yusef Taha by going to Joseph Gabaini.
30-22, CJ Austria goes right at LJ Gonzalez, and LJ visibly frustrated after call was against him. Play of the game brought to you by OneXBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory, feel more game with OneXBet.
I feel basketball nowadays continues to be, a hunt game, a target game. You have to find out where your advantage is, and judging from how they've run early sets outside of the fast break, it looks like whenever they have LJ as the primary defender, they're gonna have to attack him in the hope that he gets into foul trouble and he gets to sit on the bench and hindi na ganun kalaki yung contribution niya.
Ang hirap din kasi, Coach Mike, ang lalaki ng mga bantay niya. CJ is tasked to guard him.
Actually, halos lahat ng positions undersized itong Quezon Huskers.
Yeah.
But the way that they've battled through these 2 quarters so far, you know, admirable, pero they gotta make shots.
Ang hirap na nga sa Abra. Ang lalaki nila, ang haba pa, at ang bibilis. These guys are young studs. CJ Austria, Joshua David, Jack Cruz Dumont, fresh off from college. Marwin Taiwan knocks down a big three. And Coach Eric Gonzalez has seen enough. Kong Mayor JB Bernos and Kong Ching Bernos loving that one. How about Marwin Taiwan, Coach Mike?
And Diego Dario went under the screen, understandably, because these guys are not really good at three-point makes, but the way that they perform in that department, just impressive for the Abra Weavers.
12-point lead for Abra. Quezon needs this timeout. Head of Operations of the MPBL, Emer Oreta, and Head of Security, Rudy Distrito. And our thousands inside the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gymnasium in Bangued, Abra, the first home game of the Abra Weavers this season to cap off the month of May. Muli po, Ken Pangilinan ng inyong lingkod kasama si Coach Mike Perez, and at courtside, we have Miss Sydney Crespo scoring this quarter. And we saw Abra outscore Quezon heavily. Judel Fuentes keeping them in it with another three.
Well, Judel Fuentes so far has been the similar guy that did that to Ilagan in the first half. And yung 23-point output na yun para sa Abra Weavers. Ang dami dyan, nanggagaling pa rin sa top 3 guys nila Encho, Dave, as well as John Oduba. 3 by Diego.
This guy needs to step up, Diego Dario. His numbers have fallen off since that impressive debut against Batangas City. CJ Austria.
Look at the mismatch right there. John Oduba with Diego Dario on him.
CJ attacks the closeout, but good help defense by Quezon. They have the numbers in transition. LJ Jujudel lays it up and in, plus a foul.
You gotta put that in the highlight reel. That fast break between your top 2 guards. LJ Gonzalez. First Judel giving it up to LJ. LJ then returns the pass to Judel for that finish. Mind you, in the corner they still had Diego Dario. So in case anything comes up and he doesn't get that layup shot, he sure is gonna kick that 3 over to Diego Dario.
Judel Fuentes in double figures.
Now I like this 5 here for Quezon. Playing small ball, but really very mobile in Hierro, Vince Magbuos, as well as Minerva.
Fuentes completes the 3-point play. Now has 13 points.
Yeah, tsaka ano yan I feel this move is about getting more stops and running the floor. You're down only 6. And if you get good stops here, this might even be closer.
Dario, Joshua Hierro, Judel Fuentes, Vince Magbuhos, and RJ Minerva. The unit now for Coach Eric Gonzalez. Ildefonso back in. Tightly guarded by Wawa. Dave. Now he posts up. Foul on the floor on Joshua Hierro.
Yeah, we've seen that set for the most part dito sa Abra Weavers. That little scissors action down the gut of the floor. When you say gut, it's the middle of the floor. And David Ildefonso being the secondary guy in that scissor action. He fumbled it, recovered, pero matibay rin yun, naibigay na depensa. Pero it's tough to defend on the low block against the very strong-bodied David Ildefonso.
Oh, Dave, badly missing both free throws. Quezon a chance to inch closer. Dario. Now it's Garcia, has to guard him. Now it's Fuentes.
Hand off.
Minerva. Back to Judel. Stop and pop
Oh,
jumper. Automatic.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Kids, you gotta learn from Judel. Moving without the ball. Measuring the defense that's closing out on you.
15 puntos para kay Judel Fuentes. More importantly, cutting the lead of Abra to 4. Time winding down in the second period. 4 seconds remaining. Taiwan. No. Dario the heave. Almost got in.
That looked good.
And what a way for us to end the second period. But boy, Dave Ildefonso in his very first home game for the Abra Solid North Weavers this season has certainly come out to play, Coach Mike. And he had a slow start a bit, actually the whole team, but ended up with 11 points. At the half, the Abra Solid North Weavers on top of Quezon Huskers by 4, 34-30.
Manny Pacquiao is annihilating Oscar De La Hoya's. That is the most spectacular one-punch shot of Manny Pacquiao's incredible career. And he fights his way off and goes down again. Straight left lands for Manny. Does he have Colo in trouble? Manny Pacquiao is a storm. Another huge left hand by Pacquiao. Punch after punch after punch. And he finds the straight left hand. And there's the punching down. Look at the brilliant accuracy of Manny Pacquiao. Landing with both right and left hands. This is why we use the word sensation.
Welcome back to the MPBL. My name is Sydney Crespo at nandito tayo ngayon sa Bangged Abra para sa ating main game between the Quezon Huskers and the Abra Weavers. Para sa ating halftime interviews, kasama ko si Congressman JB Bernos. Kong, good evening and first of all, congratulations po sa inyong recent win. No? Kong, nakita ko, ang ganda ng sapatos nyo. Baka pwede mong ikwento kung ano ba o saan galing. Ang dami pong tumatawa dito sa ating mga fans. No? Kung saan galing ang inyong napakagandang sapatos. But also, gaano po kayo ka-excited dito sa ating first home game this season?
Well, una-una, nagpapasalamat ako. Thank you, Abra. Thank you, thank you. About dun sa sapatos, it's a gift from a friend who is from the other league, regalo to ni Eric Arejola, the team manager of Northport in the PBA. So, yun. Yung sa excitement, I am more than excited. The elections are over. Kahit anong balita tungkol sa Abra noon, we're back doon sa yung kung ano talaga yung Abra. Look at the people here, the crowd. Maraming salamat. Nagyaman na kada kayo amin. And yung excitement, gaya na sinabi ko, I'm more than excited. This is some sort of a homecoming for Dave Ildefonso. Yung mga hindi pa po nakakaalam, yung lola po ni Dave Ildefonso, doon sa mother side niya, is from Bangged Abra, who is a Blackera. So Dave Ildefonso is a true-blooded Abra Weaver. Kaya we must be proud of him.
Ayan, at ang dami na nga pong napapasaya ng Abra Weavers dito sa Abra, no? Kaya Kong, I'm very curious, ano pa kayang plano ninyo sa sports o sa basketball dito sa Abra?
Hindi lang basketball, but doon sa basketball, this is our second year, no? Yung first year namin, we tried our best. Ito, this season, we tried to na bumuo ng team na competitive enough to win the championship. So, honestly, we're aiming for the championship this year. Sana.
Well, Kong, we are very happy to be back here in Abra. May mga babatiin po ba kayo? Pasasalamatan.
Of course, nagpapasalamat ako sa buong liga. Actually, this is our first home game for the season. Agyaman talaga kada kayo po nga kaprobinsyaan for all the support that i-support tayo. Maybe in the coming months or next season, we will usher our new and bigger arena here in Abra, in La Paz, to accommodate all the fans of the Abra Weavers, fans of the MPBL. So, gaya na sinabi ko, talagang excited kami for the season. We're aiming, syempre, sa playoffs, and then we'll see kung anong mangyayari doon sa playoffs.
Wow, a new and bigger home court for Abra Weavers soon. Congressman, thank you so much for joining me here. That's it for halftime interviews. Ngayon mga kaliga, kilalanin pa nga natin ang isa sa mga pinakabagong sinusuportahan at sinisigawan dito sa MPBL. I'm talking about the walking highlight na banggit na ni Congressman kanina, Dave Ildefonso, who remained humble despite all his best player recognition. Ito ang pinakabagong episode ng MPBL Extra.
Dave Ildefonso, nag-college ako sa Ateneo de Manila University, and part ako ng Abra Weavers.
Back on the floor, Dave Ildefonso attacks, finishes with the left hand.
Straight, look out, Dave Ildefonso for the jam!
Actually, Abra lang naman talaga yung nag-approach sa akin kasi hindi ko naman talaga naisip na parang, na mag-MPBL talaga. Pero hindi ko naman sinasabi na ayaw ko mag-MPBL, pero hindi ko lang talaga naisip yung opportunity. So, nung unang nagkaroon ng opportunity, bigla yung Abra, nung kinausap yung tatay ko ni Boss Waylon, yun, na-decide namin na I think yun yung best step para sa next step sa career ko.
For the Abra Weavers, a really strong start, and just yung aggressiveness niya.
Look out below, Dave Ildefonso with a slam! Dave Ildefonso.
Man!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my!
Dave Ildefonso, the rim rocker!
Oh man!
Well, honestly, ako gusto ko talaga maging player na kung anong kailangan ng coach at any given time or at any given moment, yun yung mabibigay ko. So, yun talaga yung gusto ko maging goal. Kumbaga ako yung coach's player na kung may kailangan man i-stop sa defense or may kailangan man mag-take ng last shot sa offense, yun yung gusto ko marating sa career ko talaga yung goal ko.
Dave Ildefonso really is the one guy who sets up the game.
There you go. Gonzalez scores plus a foul. Gets it out, swing pass. Ildefonso, three-pointer is good.
isa ako sa one of the luckiest kids talaga ako kasi, you know, kahit na my life is in basketball, so super swerte lang ako na yung tatay ko, coach na, legend pa, tsaka, you know, mabait pang tatay. So, yun, sobrang swerte ko lang kasi siya yung tatay ko eh. And, you know, always ko siya mapupuntahan kahit anong problema ko. And siya talaga yung idol ko eh sa buhay. Kumbaga. Influence ako sa basketball kasi, you know, growing up, napanood sa PBA. And, yun talaga eh, kasi siya yung talaga naging coach ko, mentor ko, growing up, kahit sa grade school pa lang, tinuturuan niya ako eh. And, buti lang naging fruitful naman yung pagturo niya sa akin. Nakapag-abroad ako, nakapag-Philippine team ako, ngayon nasa MPBL ako. So hopefully, you know, mas makapag-experience pa ako ng different levels sa basketball. Siguro message ko lang sa kanya is, Tay, mahal na mahal kita. You know, kahit masakit matigas mo ulo ko minsan. Pero sana maintindihan mo. Pero yun, alam ko na lahat ng gusto kong sabihin, alam mo na. Pero you know, ikaw talaga yung best tatay para sa akin.
Defonso is ahead. Defonso. Oh! A rim rocker on the give and go. That was a ferocious jam galing kay David Defonso.
Maraming salamat sa support niyo guys. Salamat. Sana, you know, yung mga youngins na nag-aspire na mapunta sa collegiate level or sa pro level, sana magkalaban tayo sa support. Basta hard work lang guys, at saka dasal kay Lord.
It's the battle between the reigning South Division champions, Quezon Huskers, against the mighty Abra Weavers. And at the half, the home team in front by 4 over Quezon, 34-30. And Coach Mike, just to recap what happened, maganda yung naging simula ng Quezon dito. They jumped out to a 5-0 start. And it was tied, but Abra, despite falling down by 5 points earlier in the first quarter, they were able to mount a 13-0 run. And from there, itong Quezon played mostly catch-up in the second quarter.
Well, aside from the +3 3-point makes para dito sa Abra Weavers, it's the 11 points of turnovers and them forcing already 12 turnovers para dito sa Quezon Huskers, to which they normally would average in a game roughly 15 turnovers. So you created this situation na nag-commit sila na mistakes that much already in the first half, and they got a lot of help from the bench. That's 18-10, and for the most part, it's been Encho Siran who came off, started things off with 7 points, and then John Oduba just being a huge help para dito sa Abra Weavers in that second quarter action.
Judel Fuentes with 15 points to lead the way for the Quezon Huskers. LJ Gonzalez had 6 points. Christian Pagaran with 3. But mostly for Quezon, they've done it on defense. Dave Ildefonso, though, had 11 markers for Abra, but it was Encho Serrano who really ignited this comeback by Abra. Came off the bench with 7 points. 7 points din ang pinakawalan ni John Oduba. And despite everything that happened, Coach Mike, Abra has been held to only 34 points in the first 2 quarters. So at least in that department, Quezon has done a great job of a bit containing itong high-powered offense na meron itong Abra.
Agree. And I was going to point to that na yung Quezon Huskers, strong start, you know. 0 out of 10 ang Abra Weavers. You know, umatake itong Abra Weavers, started converting shots, getting a flow, getting a good confidence with David Defonso knocking down threes and Encho and John Oduba helping out. But I think it matters to Coach Eric that they closed out that half strong. And so right now they're only down 4 with an opportunity here to get a good stop and probably trim down that 4-point deficit.
Actually closed out the first half with an 8-0 run, but that does not matter because David Defonso able to bury a free right out of the gates.
Tell you what, he's only missed 1 3-pointer so far in this game. He's 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
And that to me just speaks in volume on the next level David Defonso we've seen so far, at least for the past 3 games from the 3-point perspective.
3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. And Dave has hit 11 threes in his last 2 games. Although yung kalaban nga nila doon was Paranaque and Bacolod. Encho Serrano starts the third. One-hander does not work. Diego Dario.
Good
great
pass.
cut. Great cut as well by JP Sarao. Great connection between Diego Dario and JP Sarao. Cutting this lead down to 5, 37-32.
Now that's a classic point guard read right there. He saw that rim runner down the middle, looked away, used his eyes to deceive the defender, not knowing that JP Sarao was right in the middle, rim running for that finish. Good find by Diego Dario.
Dario sends it to Christian Pagaran, puts it on the bounce. JP Sarao really patient with the up fake, and Quezon is now to within 3.
That's right. And beat the primary defender, generate the help defense, and try to attack them on the recovery defense. That's what Quezon's been doing so far, started the 3rd quarter.
Offensive foul on that legal screen called on Ryan Patino, sending Junel Fuentes to the deck. This is the assist of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Exactly, that was the move that I was saying. He went past the primary defender, then met up that help defense by Batino before finding that free spot underneath, to which Raven Gonzalez tried to rotate, but he was late.
Junel Fuentes a bit shaken off as he troops back to the bench. Altamsi
Flair.
comes in for him. JP Sarao hand off to Diego Dario. Beats Dave Ildefonso off the dribble but can't finish. And guys on the floor, Sarao, Ildefonso, Batino. Jump ball situation. Possession arrow pointing to Quezon. 7 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, JP Sarao is that 3rd guy right now para dito sa Quezon Huskers that's helping out in point production. You got a steady flow from Jodel Fuentes. LJ, almost 9 minutes earlier, got 6 points. You know, JP also has got 6 and a 3 of 6 shooting so far.
Ooh, I think someone's gonna be warned for violating the uniform protocol here on Quezon. Yeah. Because he came in, his jersey untucked.
Okay.
Nagpit ang referees natin dyan.
Rightfully so. Tamsi on the corner exit.
Medyo off target yung pasa ni Diego Dario. Look out, David Defonso! Lays it up and in.
Just getting everybody up on their feet, and then later na lang sabi. What a strong drive and a finish by Dave Ildefonso.
5-point lead. Sanay kasi tayo, tak-tak yun eh.
Pag ganun eh, Dave, almost always eh.
Raven Gonzalez comes away with it. Abra up by 5. 3 minutes gone by here in the third period. Marwin Taiwan gets to the Dave Ildefonso.
You gotta stay attached with him.
Hierro attached to him like glue and forcing a turnover.
Good defense by Hierro, refusing to get screened, and good recovery defense underneath para dito sa Quezon Huskers on that curl under move.
Diego Dario sends it to JP Sarao, and Ryan Batino again called for that foul.
JP Sarao was actually about to make that attempt, pero nakita niya yung closeout ni Batino eh.
Fast break the game brought to you by Extreme X Play. On the go speaker, take your music anywhere.
Inisihan lang ni Dave Ildefonso. Pati yata ikaw napatayo kin eh.
Oo, muntik na ako mapatayo.
Muntik na.
Kamuntikan na. I'm sure the fans as well.
Oo. Kasabay mo yata sila.
Sarao this time took it. Not even close on that 3-point shot.
But that's his spot. That's his sweet spot from 3, top of the key.
Ildefonso bagyang na libre. And he falls down after that closeout by Simon Sandagon.
Basang-basa ni Dave Ildefonso. Alam niyang switch eh. Nung tumama yung screen kay Raven Gonzalez, Raven on a short roll, he knew immediately he was gonna bring that defender with him. You see that? May momentary stunt para kay Hierro, pero ang focus na niya nandun na kay kay Raven underneath.
And Coach Eric Gonzalez is challenging the call. 6 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. We'll pause for a break. We'll be back for the result of this challenge.
The challenge of the Quezon Huskers was successful. There was no foul, resulting in a jump ball possession arrow.
So walang foul, ha? Because the judgment here was marginal contact siguro, no?
Siguro. Yeah.
Oo, kasi
marginal nga. Umiwas din si si Simon eh. Well, not that. There was very little contact.
saka nagkatamaan sila, bumagsak na si Dave. It wasn't because he fell down na binagga siya. He fell down and then bumangga si Simon. So, hindi foul.
It almost appeared like, parang si Dave na-anticipate niya na may bunggo, but that bunggo never happened.
Exactly.
So, Coach Eric right there, so far, I think he loves where he is right now, except for the trail by 5, pero this close.
Four minutes gone by here in the fourth. Just want to greet, of course, the whole Tan Fambam, who's having a watch party of this game between Quezon and Abra. Of course, Boss RD, Ronel, Governor Helen Tan, Kong Mike Tan, Doc Kim Tan, and Malik Tan. And of course, walang iba kundi si Attorney Don Kapunan. Still here by Quezon. I'm sure the Tans are really happy with the effort they're displaying right now, despite the hostile crowd here.
Yeah.
Kasi hindi naman hostile
Hindi
eh.
naman
Kumbaga,
hostile.
talagang all
Nakasuporta
out sila.
lang,
But they've been really respectful of the road team. Alam nila yung kalibre nitong pupunan na ito.
Well, very similar to the crowd of Quezon, in my own opinion. Based on the games that I've covered there, and they're just a high culture team and a community. Itong Quezon. And I was talking to Attorney Don, I think a couple of games back or last month yata, and I told him I like how Quezon is building up on the culture and even the support from generating the support from the fans, which is exactly I feel how the Weavers are also doing for their home-based fans.
Marwin Taiwan comes in, as well as Joshua David. Pinagpahinga muna si Encho Serrano. Ildefonso creating some space and making it look easy.
Oh my God, I saw that from a mile away. You knew that I was gonna spin back to the top, but the fade though, what a finish by David Ildefonso.
Making it look effortless. Gonzalez attacking the defense of Marwin Taiwan.
And LJ really just returning the favor this time around, trying to attack the defense of Marwin Taiwan. See that action right there. Didn't get that lane, spun back, and boy, that fade going left for a right-hand shooter just shows you the power on those legs by David Ildefonso. And that to me is credit to the strength and conditioning coach of the Weavers, Coach Jerry Andaleon. And those guys work a lot on the conditioning of their players.
This free throw at sa atin ng Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Na si Coach Jerry Andaleon ay dating kasama ni Coach Vincent Harder na ngayon ay nagse-celebrate ng birthday ng kanyang wife na si Daylin Harder. Happy birthday, Ma'am Daylin, from Coach Vincent. Of Muntinlupa Cagers, they're looking real good.
Oo naman.
Oo naman.
Shout out to Sir Vincent Harder. Of course, Coach Mark Dandan.
Oh yes, Coach Mark.
Ildefonso at the line. Continues to miss though, 0 out of 3.
Well, he's a 69% free throw shooter by far.
Special
season.
deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Finally, knocks down his first free throw. Ildefonso with 19 points. Yusuf Taha comes in for Ryan Patino.
Bigat din ang rotation sa ilalim ni Weavers. You replace Batino with Yusuf Taha. This really is more of a matchup. With Gabayni coming in, Yusuf sets in.
Gabayni, offensive board, in traffic, got tied up. Ball will stay with Quezon.
Ganda rin ng little game within the game between Yusuf Taha and Joseph Gabayni. I just love when big men compete inside the paint.
Magbuhos will trigger it in from the baseline.
They're going man here.
Gabayni gives it up to LJ Gonzalez. Close pass, Marwin Taiwan, but can't finish on the floater. Hierro recovers, but ball did not hit the rim. Shot block violation on Quezon.
I'll tell you this. Evan Tagle had a shot, but he didn't take it. Why? You got a big man in Yusuf Taha closing out on you. How much do you love that effort by Yusuf Taha if you're the Weavers? Just committed to discipline that end of the floor.
Laking bagay, 16 turnovers ng Quezon. As a result, they have given up 15 points of those miscues. Including this one, dadagdagan pa nila yan. 3 galing kay Marwin Taiwan.
19 puntos from the mistakes that the Huskers have committed. And this is a 9-point game.
LJ, eye-to-eye with Marwin. Gonzalez whips a pass to Hierro, open free, knocks that one down.
That I feel is one of the unique offers of Hierro for the Huskers. He can help spread that floor. He's got good touch from there.
Ildefonso sets his feet. Too much time for him to knock down that shot. Already 5 threes for David Ildefonso for a total of 22 points.
5 of 6 threes made in this game. And David Ildefonso just continues to exploit that defense from top. You go under, you're gonna make you pay. And exactly what Dave has done. And you know what? Dave Ildefonso, for the past 3 games, for the past 2 games rather, has made, I said this earlier, 11 3-pointers. And right now, he's already made 5. So that makes a total of, 16 3-pointers made all in all through 3 games.
At paulit-ulit niyang binabanggit yan na every time he's interviewed for best player of the game, it's his 3-point shooting that he's really critical of himself.
At yun, to my understanding, started in that loss against Pasay. Yeah. Na 10 points lang siya, baba nung field goal percentage niya, and he's just committed to working on those shots.
In those first 3 games, including that loss against Pasay, he was only averaging 12 points on 28.6% field goal shooting. But ever since that, like you said, Coach Mike, he has really turned the corner. And more importantly, apart from him finding the mark, I think the game has really slowed down for him.
Yes. At saka,
well,
yeah, later.
Bago yan, may balita muna tayo kay Miss Cindy Crespo.
Well, gentlemen, you've been pointing out the much improved outside shooting of Dave, no? So sali ako sa usapan na to, particularly from beyond the arc. And Coach Young adds that this growth is simply the reward for all the hard work Dave puts in before, during, and after practice. But in true Dave fashion, he stays grounded. He says 2 to 3 good games are not enough for him to define his season or to claim that he's fully improved this part of his game. He's very specific, Ken. The game hasn't slowed down for him just yet. He holds himself to a very high standard, and he says this recent stretch is just the result of better, more consistent preparation, gentlemen.
Pag ganyang aganda yung report, dapat sinasali talaga sa usapan.
Kasama dapat siya. Pero doon sa report na yun ni Sid, just speaks of the young man with a lot of maturity.
Yes.
I mean, it speaks highly of his credibility as well. I mean, boy, there's a lot of upside for Dave Ildefonso.
Saka nare-recognize niya talaga yung mga kailangan pa niyang gawin.
At saka yung commitment eh.
Yes.
Oh no.
Mark Yee under the rest.
That's way out.
Quezon
No choice eh, no choice.
getting a stop it needed. Down by 8. 48-40. Diego Dario sends it to LJ. Laban kay Encho. LJ Gonzalez could not hit that shot. Fight for the ball. Foul will be called on Yusef Taha.
Gotta credit Joseph Gabayni for that sneak in, tip. That was already a secure defensive rebound for Yusef Taha, pero Gabayni positioned himself in a way where he's not seen, and he's still able to tap that ball away from Yusef.
48-40. Gabayni at the line. Now GR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Sablay yung una. And despite the struggles of Quezon, Coach Mike, they've been out-rebounding Abra plus 11. Pero kasi yung mga tira kasi ng Abra so far, tumatama, especially from beyond the arc, considering the fact that they're not really one of the best three-point shooting teams so far this season.
Well, they're not one of the best three-point shooting teams because they don't attempt three-pointers that much. I feel ito lang mga last 3 games nila kung saan dumami yung attempts nila eh. And they're attempting more because they're making more, then why not?
Dario still can't find the mark. Minute and 30 left here in the third period.
Down 8 through 3 quarters. Goods ka pa rin if you're Quezon. You're playing away pero hindi ka nalalayuan ng lamang.
Ildefonso frees himself up for another free.
Wow. Tell me this is not an NBA 2K kind of game para dito kay Dave Ildefonso. He's missed only 1 3-pointer in 7 attempts.
25 points for Dave Ildefonso. And they get a stop on the other side.
Man, 18 of those 25 have come from 3. See, that's right here. Yeros tried to stay attached, pero tumama yung screen ni Batino. He tried as much as he can to stay connected dito kay Dave Ildefonso. But since hindi switch ang defensive scheme nitong Huskers, naiwan yung defender. Nakatira si Dave. One more.
Ildefonso, he's feeling it, but way off on that shot.
But that's okay.
Immediately apologizing to the bench.
Well, I think he apologized because it was too early on the shot clock.
Kong Mayor, JB Bernos. 34 seconds remaining. Diego Dario gets it to Judel Fuentes, sets his feet. Can't finish. David Defonso the rebound. 3-second differential between shot and game clock.
Huskers gonna need a stop here. You don't wanna be down some more.
Serrano, one-on-one against Judel Fuentes. Puts up a free, no good. Fuentes grabs the ball. A second remaining. Fuentes past the half-court line. And that would do it for the first 3 quarters. Dave Ildefonso, 14 of his 25 points coming here in quarter number 3.
One thing that you realize here, it's better shooting for the Abra Weavers from 3 in this game. 10 3-pointers, they got 30 points out of it, and just running the floor in every opportunity. I mean, in as much as Quezon has actually played good defense to start the third quarter, again, it's the flow of the rhythm of the offense of the Weavers that have given them this lead.
Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration. And the Abra Weavers heading into the fourth, up by 11 over Quezon, 51-40. Check out our Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. And the fans of the Abra Weavers having the time of their lives so far with what has transpired in the first 3 quarters. 2,300 people in attendance, and that does not include the guys outside na gusto ring manood. And boy, David Defonso has spearheaded this charge by Abra. He grabs the rebound. You see the quarter scoring. Tabla tayo in the first quarter. Second quarter, Abra outscoring Quezon by 4. And then +7 naman sila nung third laban sa Huskers. Fuentes will try to settle the troops down para dito sa Quezon.
Just no middle defense right there by Dave Ildefonso. He's not allowing Judel Fuentes to get to his strong hand on the right side of the floor, because this is what happens. He's able to make an attempt. Ooh.
Tulak. Laban kay Simon Sandagon.
One thing you really admire about the big men of the Abra Weavers, they just never stop competing for those, loose balls, rebounds, closeouts. And we've seen that from Yusef, we've seen that from Batino, we've seen that from Marquis right now. Wow, just committed guys defensively.
Batino, Encho Serrano, Jack Cruz Dumont, John Oduba, and Dave Ildefonso. The 5 on the floor for Abra. Batino with a one-hander. And this is now the biggest lead for Abra at 13 points.
And probably the calmest shot that Batino has taken. Oh, wow.
Batino gets the steal. Serrano in transition. Signature shot. Automatic.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time to see the Abra Weavers, that is the Abra Weavers. Getting turnovers, generating it, and finishing it off the other end, converting it to points to their favor.
Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme Magpalamig, free installation for split-type air conditioners. This lead has ballooned to its biggest at 15, 55-40. Our fan of the game brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. That is Iya Eunice Acosta, daughter of Sir Mike Acosta of the Abra Weavers. And kasama niya yung kanyang pinsan no, na si Luis Ann. Part of the 2,300 strong supporters of Abra in this particular game against the reigning South Division champions, the Quezon Huskers. And again, the turnover story has been quite alarming if you're Quezon. 18 already, giving up 20 points off those miscues, Coach Mike.
Yeah, I agree. And talagang, making them pay for their mistake. Another mistake.
Push Dumont. Banal standing his ground. LJ with a head start, floats it up and in.
That was a tough finish for LJ Gonzalez. Runner of floater with that much arc on that shot.
55-42, 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter.
Get a good stop and then score the other side. Here are the Huskers.
May foul na pinito laban sa Quezon as Serrano made his move.
Inaabangan na ni Jodel eh. Alam niya pagkatapos ng sayaw na yon, magka-gather na si Encho. So abang on that gather with your two hands on the ball. And that's the time you try and strip it away.
Babalik si Marwin Taiwan sa loob para sa Abra Solid North Weavers. Serrano sa bandang kanan. Takes that free. No good. Gonzalez grabbing another board, his fifth. He goes all the way but was rejected by Dave Ildefonso.
On the help side by Dave Ildefonso. He knew that LJ was going to finish on a 1-2 with that left side of the floor. But got in there and helped out Batino. Didn't want Batino to get beat.
Minerva to LJ. Back to RJ. Ball stolen away. 20 turnovers now for the Quezon Huskers.
Very similar yung template nito dun sa Batangas game. Close start of quarters and even the closing it. Pero just the flow really more this time para dito sa Weavers.
Dario high off the glass. How about John Oduba soaring and plucking that ball away? That was a big time rebound by John Oduba. 55-42, Abra up by a baker's dozen. Dave. Oduba, no. Rebound, RJ Minerva. Cabanal sets his feet, fires. That one pops out.
Yeah, they needed that. Kasi paboritong spot rin ni Gab yun eh. And he had no defender in front of him.
Ildefonso gets past LJ. Inside, Patino, wala. Nakuha ni Gonzalez yung rebound para sa Quezon. LJ. Bagsak si Taiwan. Fuentes pupukol sa playan pag Judel. Quezon only putting up 2 points here in the fourth. Serrano almost. Fuentes nakabuelo dito. Gonzalez all the way. Got hit in the head by Ryan Batino on his way to the basket.
Well, that was pretty much a makeable layup para kay LJ Gonzalez pero didn't have enough spin para pumasok yung tira niya.
Gonzalez at the line. LJ so far 8 points. His first miss at the line though. 4 out of 5 now. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer.
Laking discrepancy talaga ng points of turnovers. And 20-6, plus 14 for Abra. And then the fast break, 10 versus 7. Shuffle screen. A shuffle cut rather.
Sa poste, Ildefonso. Nilabas papunta kay CJ. Back to Dave. Against Pagaran. Ildefonso off the bounce. No good.
He's missed his last 4 attempts. Dave after being hot before that run.
Still enough time for Quezon. Down by 13 though. Gabayni. Up fake, cut, Pagaran. And the close out by Austria. Reckless one at that. Resulting to a foul.
Pero ang hirap nung ginawang tira na yun ni Pagaran. Jump stop on that curl under. And back to the basket. Spin baseline side. Didn't even do anything after that. Talagang jump stop, spin kagad eh.
Chris Pagaran at the line. Makes go on the first free throw. Former Perpetual Help player. Christian Pagaran. This free throw, din sa atin yan ng Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
11-point lead for the Abra Weavers. But Dave has slowed down here in the fourth quarter.
He has not scored here in the fourth.
Yeah.
After exploding for 14 in the third. Now he gets the pass. Getting past Pagaran. The set-up job by Taha, but great help defense by Gabanal. Able to reject that from behind. Gabayni comes away with it. Fuentes. Chance to trim the gap to single digits. Judel. Hard show by Taha. The cut by Gabayni.
Nice pass.
Extra pass. Pagaran for free. It's good.
Nice pass. You gotta credit that pass to Gabanal. Hockey pass. And then that second pass that located Pagaran in the corner 3.
Great patience displayed there by the Quezon Huskers. And this basket by Christian Pagaran trims this gap down to 8 points, 55-47. Just an update on our player matchup between LJ Gonzalez and Encho Serrano. Hindi naman nagkakalayo, Coach Mike.
Oh, hindi naman nagkakalayo. I think the key difference will be in the minutes played. Encho has played 4 more minutes than that of LJ. But ang importante dito, si Encho, sinimulan niyo yung scoring para sa sa Abra Weavers. Samantalang si LJ, yun naman yung sagot niya dun sa initial scoring nitong Abra Weavers.
Serrano got things going when Abra had a slow start, came off the bench. While LJ Gonzalez, despite his struggles, has contributed in other areas. And despite all that, Quezon find themselves to within 8. Serrano, though, draws a foul. He'll head to the line for 2 shots.
Kita mo na frustrate si Encho Serrano after yung drive na yon off that grenade pass by Batino. Immediately clearing that post area, opening it up so that once he does that grenade pass over to Encho Serrano, free na yung lane para maka-atake siya.
We have a challenge from Coach Eric Gonzalez on that last foul call. Serrano was about to take 2 free throws, but we will pause for a break. We'll be back for the result.
The challenge made by Quezon Huskers is successful. There was no foul.
Another successful
Reaching
challenge
possession
by
by
Coach
Abra.
Eric Gonzalez. Here was the last play involving Serrano. He will not get 2 free throws. He triggered in from the sideline.
So, successful challenge, no?
Yeah. Encho working with Patino. Ryan receives the pass, goes straight to the cup. Foul again on Quezon. It will go up against Joseph Gabayni.
And so far, what we've seen, you know, in the recent possessions para dito sa Abra Weavers, they've been allowing Encho Serrano to play with Batino on a little 2-man action. You know, they've done everything there. Initially, they went to the uphill dribble handoff, or some call that a grenade pass. And then they went on a shift on that screen. That time around, when Batino got that ball on the elbow, he decided, no, I'm not going to do a DHO now. I'm going to keep it and attack gut of the defense.
The Cebuano hits 2 big free throws to push the lead back up to double digits, 57-47. Fuentes has been held scoreless here in the second half.
And a lot of it because of the defense. Look at that. They're bringing a secondary defender to Judel so that he gives up that ball. They're defending him in 2 ways. One, they're not giving them the middle, especially if he's on the left side of the floor. Dito ka na lang sa left side, wag ka na pumunta sa kanan. Kasi sa kanan, komportable ka. You're a right-handed shooter. And then, doon, pangalawa nakita natin, may help na dumarating to get the ball out of the hands of Judel Fuentes.
And now, it's the much experienced Gab Banal tasked to guard David Defonso. But on the left side of the floor, offensive foul whistled against Abra. Raven Gonzalez called for his 4th foul. Here's Gab Banal coming up big. As usual, the former MPBL MVP.
David Defonso caught under that screen on that return pass to Gab Banal. One more.
Banal, short. That would have cut it to 4.
That looked good too on that release.
Diretso eh.
Diretso yun, ha?
57-50, El Defonso.
It's pointing to that right side, left side of the floor.
Dave.
Switch.
Banal switches back onto him. Marwin Taiwan can't get it to go. Batino gives them another possession.
How about the work of Batino?
Just his 4th rebound, but nonetheless, it's Serrano who takes it and makes it.
And Encho looks at the crowd of the fans of the Abra Weavers, telling them, let's go.
How about Encho Serrano making Christian Pagaran pay by going under the screen and letting out a roar after that big hit. Timeout Quezon. They're down by 10, 60-50. After this one, Abra will go up against Imos on June 7. On the 14th, they will be back here at home. They will square off against the Pangasinan Heatwaves. And on the 23rd, they will be up against the Quezon City Galleries Taipan. And Abra gunning for their 10th straight victory tonight. David Defonso scoreless in the 4th. But Encho Serrano just hit a big 3. which pushed the lead back up to 10. As we're down, we're heading into the last 2 minutes of the game. LJ Gonzalez, what can Quezon do here? Fuentes, free for free, off the mark. That was a good look, Coach
Yeah,
Mike.
that was a good look. They misdirected that cut in the lane by Jodel Fuentes for a weak side elevator. He had a good look.
Could have cut it to 7.
No.
Nakasundot si LJ Gonzalez. Buhay pa dito ang Quezon.
Yeah, they still have that window.
LJ, burst of speed, lays it up and in with his left hand.
Yeah, 2 points at a time here. If you're Quezon, you still got that window. Important now for the Weavers to manage clock and not to rush into things.
Taiwan will set the table for Abra. 60-52, peaks at the clock, 8 seconds on their shot clock. Taiwan using that Patino screen. Puts it up, no good. Babaini clears it. Release pass to LJ. Gonzalez to Fuentes, thought about it, steps back for 3. Short, Pagaran skies high for an offensive board. And he will be awarded with 2 free throws. How about Christian Pagaran? Hickser, great move of the game. Born for greatness. This was the impressive thing by LJ Gonzalez.
They've tried to close out that left lane for that drive by LJ, but LJ already took off. Pero yung dalawang tira ni Del Fuentes, very makeable yun,
Yeah.
You know, that out of bounds, that play, and then later that 3 where he shook off that defender and tried to make that attempt. Very makeable threes, but in so far as scoring, he's been empty here in the second half. Speaking of Jadel.
Critical free throws for Quezon. Pagaran, 6 in the first. Second one to make this a 2-possession ball game. Ooh, a miss. Big one. Ildefonso snags his 4th rebound. They will milk some time here. Fuentes giving up the foul.
That's their 4th. Next one, they'll be in penalty.
If you're Quezon, do you pick up the option of fouling quick to extend the game? But before you answer that, Coach Mike, we have a timeout by the Abra Solid North Weavers. They're up by 7, 60-53. We'll pause for a break. Up next for Quezon on June 7 against another North Division team in Caloocan. June 18, laban sa Bulacan Cuyas. On June 25, kalaban naman nila ang Paranaque Patriots. And Quezon, if ever they go on and lose this game, they will drop down to number 3.
And who's got number 2?
Muntinlupa. Kong JB Bernos, Kong Mayor JB Bernos, and Kong Ching Bernos enjoying the game.
Why
Rightfully
not?
so.
Why not, right? The Abra Weavers did not disappoint at home, especially with David Defonso knocking down those threes, and just total team effort. Yes, this is not yet a done game, but in so far as what they've shown here, pretty good for the Weavers.
Actually, Duma was the guy that they could have fouled. Well, it's Marwin Taiwan who will be tested at the line. But this season, Marwin Taiwan has been really impressive. 90.5% from the free throw line.
Yes.
Calmly sinks the first one.
He's their go-to guy in terms of free throws. And Taiwan is actually the 3rd leading scorer with 8.2 points per game. And the first one being Dave and Encho at 17 and 12 respectively.
62-53. Gonzales. Nagmamadali. Muntik ng maagawan ni Marwin Taiwan. Bola mananatili sa panig ng Quezon.
And you feel how inspired these Abra Weavers are playing at home finally this season.
Quezon burning their final timeout. They're down by 9, 62-53. Back with us here at the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gymnasium in the town of Bangged in Abra. Quezon not on their side, only 32.4 seconds remaining, a 3-possession ball game. They need something quick here. Fuentes catches, crossover, gets in the paint, gets blocked by John Oduba. And that's probably gonna do it, Coach Mike.
Yeah.
Look at this crowd enjoying what could be the very first home game of Abra this season.
Oh, you see that peel-off defense. You say peel-off, Marwin Taiwan was the original defender. He got beat. He peels off and pumasok naman itong si John Oduba. He peeled off from his primary defensive assignment pero tumulong na lang siya dito sa drive na yun ni Jodel Fuentes. And you know, when you look at the defensive scheme of Abra, nothing really going right. I mean, on the right side of the floor para sa Quezon Huskers, just making it tough. And if ever you do get in the lane, you do know that there is going to be help from the big man inside the paint for rim protection.
And Coach Mike, when you look at the numbers here, as Oduba doesn't get the friendly bounce on the second free throw, they came in, they were number 1 in the league in rebounding. They were minus 12 tonight, but the way they were able to force turnovers and put them into points. And look at Kong Mayor JB Bernos and the rest of the Abreños. This is a well-deserved victory for them. Their homecoming, the very first home game, quite a success for the Abra Weavers, who themselves have championship aspirations, and they have put down this worthy adversary in the Quezon Huskers, Coach Mike.
Yeah, and I think the Weavers have really earned this win. I like to say because Quezon gave them their best shot against this team.
Best player of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game, win 1xBet.
And really just totally a change David Defonso for the better. He's more dangerous with that 3-ball, and he's going to be even better as the season goes, putting the league in notice this season that you are going to have to contend with a 3-point shooting David Defonso.
10th straight victory for the Abra Solid North Weavers, winning this one over the Quezon Huskers 63-53. Let's go courtside to Miss Sydney Crespo.
Thanks, Ken. Coach Mike. Dave, congratulations. Sabi mo nga, you continue the work. Maybe work even harder kahit na pang-siyam mo na tong Best Player Award. But how important is this one? Best player ka sa harap ng mga Abreños.
Gusto ko sabihin, first of all, syempre, maraming salamat kay God kasi without Him, you know, itong performance na to, itong game that I had, if it wasn't for Him, it wouldn't have happened. And maraming salamat sa mga taga-Abra sa panonood. And maraming salamat kay Boss JB and kay Kong Ching. And yun nga, yung sinabi mo nga, 9th best player, you know, it's just an epitome of how good we are as a team. And you know, thankful ako na lagi niyo akong pinipili as best player. Pero yun nga, I just keep working and I just try to be the best player that I can be for my team.
Always humble, no? But Dave, can you talk about the energy that Encho brought in the first quarter, how that affected you and the rest of your teammates dito sa larong to?
You know, medyo nagka-dry spell kami sa first quarter for a few minutes. Pero, you know, once Encho came in, you know, he knew the environment eh. You know how hostile MPBL is, especially with the home game. Pero, you know, that's why we have him on our team and we're very lucky to have him kasi Encho is Encho eh. And he knows how competitive the game is and he knows he's been there. So, sobrang lucky lang ako na pwede kong pasahan si Encho instead of kailangan ko siya depensahan.
Well, it was definitely a collective effort, no? Sinong gusto mong batiin at pasalamatan?
Gusto ko pasalamatan, syempre, si Kong Mayor, JB Bernos, and si Kong Ching, and the family Bernos as well, and to all the Abra people, thank you for watching, and sana nag-enjoy kayo sa game namin. And hopefully, makita ko kayo ulit sa June 14, kalaban naman namin Pangasinan. Thank you kay Burlington, sabi ng kalbo kong kaibigan, at saka Pastor Ferdy, hello. To my girlfriend, Selena, hi. And kayang-kaya mo yung next exam mo, don't be sad. Pero hey, kay Nano, babae na nagka-surgery ngayon, pagaling ka Nano, this game for you, and Nano lalaki as well. And sa tatay ko, and si nanay, kita tayo bukas.
Alright, maraming salamat and congratulations once again si Dave Ildefonso, ang ating best player of the game, brought to us by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat Sydney and Kong Mayor JB Bernos and Kong Jing Bernos in celebration with the rest of the Abra Weavers. And it took some time for them to get back on their home floor, but what a way to kick off their homestand here, Coach Mike.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure these fans have waited long enough for these Abra Weavers to finally show up, and show up they did, and in good fashion with Dave Ildefonso leading the way. Katulad nga sabi ni Dave, they have that dry run to start the game, pero ang ganda na naging respond with the leadership scoring side para dito kay Encho Serrano.
Still undefeated on their home floor dating back to last season, now 4-0. But now we will kick off the month of June. We will be back on Monday at the Paco Arena in Manila. First game po natin at 4 p.m. Val City Magic kontra Bacolod Tubo Slashers. Followed by the Pangasinan Heatwaves. They will square off against the Muntinlupa Cagers. And for our last game, Pasig City kalaban ang Quezon City Galleries Taipan. And that's gonna do it for our coverage from Bangged, Abra, on behalf of Coach Mike Perez and Miss Sydney Crespo and our hardworking crew dito sa Abra. Ako po si Ken Pangalinan. Agyamanak unay ti panagbuya yung kadaytoy Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, Liga ti amin nga Pilipino.